Hey Erica, how are you? Girl, I could not stop laughing. I don't know if you listened to the call from that was dropped today from phone calls from prison, but that thing was it I look, I said, let me come on some Shirley Strawberry and Nesto's Bible study night school. Okay. These two are funny. Okay. Um We gonna get into it, okay? Just for a minute. We're not gonna stay up too late. It's 9 o'clock. It's a school night. It's a work night. Everybody, but let's cover a couple little things, okay? Hello, everybody. Hey, everyone. I'm sorry. It's been a couple days. I was supposed to come live yesterday, and then life interrupted. And then this afternoon, I said, let's go ahead. After listening to that call, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't get all the way through it, and we're not gonna react to the whole thing. There's like a little piece I wanted to talk about. Um, hey, Life of Leisure. Hey, Mons. Hey, MJ. Hey, Nail Gigi, Toy, Tamika, Kiki, BK, Lex, Erica, MJ. I think I said MJ for the two times. Officially, Lori, Tony, Life of Leisure, TS. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're on the replay, welcome. Make sure if you're new here, did I even put it in subscriber mode? Um, Let me put it in subscriber mode. That's the main thing. If you're not subscribed here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm going to do it for a 5 minute. I'm not going to do like the normal 20 minutes because I don't want anyone to get locked out for too long. But make sure you hit the subscribe button. That keeps the bots out and that keeps the weirdos out from just dropping in because they have nothing better to do. So there's a method to the madness. So, but yeah, girl. Yes, everyone. I said yeah, girl, but I'm sure there's some guys in here too. Um, there was something in that call that was funny because they keep talking about Job. So Shirley is explaining to Nesto about her reading the book of Job, and I found it quite interesting. Ernesto is he's not a smart guy, and it's I don't know. Anyway, okay, we're gonna get into that, but let's get into this because I hadn't even seen this until today, so it kind of ties in. So let's go over here first. And because I also heard that that Steve was mentioned, Steve, and I didn't even hear that part. So if any of you guys have the timestamp on that, let me know. But I do not. So let's do this. And then okay. Okay. So I heard Steve was mentioned. I was in and out. So I'm gonna listen to it again tonight, and then we might react to it tomorrow. At some point on Love Lies and Lace Fronts in the morning. So just kind of bear with me. But I heard Steve and them were mentioned, and then I went over to Steve's Instagram and I saw a post. I hadn't seen it, and I really hadn't been all up on Marjorie's Instagram like that, but I was just kind of like, okay. And then there was a phrase in here that I was like, this cannot be a coincidence. So here's Marjorie. You might not be able to see this, but let me make it bigger. So this is her last post. Marjorie and Steve usually are posted up on Instagram, as you just saw, right? So Marjorie says this is a website, and that's what it is. I went and looked it up, and I'm gonna show it to you in just a second. Welcome to everyone coming in. I don't have my eyeballs on the chat at the moment, so just bear with me. Um, my husband and I don't usually stop to address all the foolishness and lies that have been spread about us. However, to whom much is given, much is required. Remember, Ernesto tripped up over that, right? I understand that with my platform comes some sort of responsibility to those that may not be as strong as we are. Read and share this with your loved ones that may not know how to properly cope. God bless you all. Okay? So it's a excerpt from Peter, and it says, when they hurled their insults at him, he did not retaliate. When he suffered, he made no threats. Instead, he entrusted himself to him who judges justly. Um, these two definitely like to stand on some moral high ground, and that's fine. That's what they if that's what they want to do, that's their business, as they should, right? So I went to the website where this was posted. Um, but I just these two are really funny to me. Stephen and Marjorie and Steve and Marjorie and Shirley and Ernesto, really, and Steve and Shirley, okay, the co-hosts, all right. But anyway, this website, um hold on. Nobody likes to be lied about. Now, I can understand if Marjorie feels like people are putting out there that she's cheating on her husband. I guess if you are trying to be sneaky and don't want to be caught out there for cheating on your husband, you're going to do everything that you can do to not be looked at in that way. But we have to also go back to Shirley saying that they were going through hell, right? We'll listen to that for a second too. But nobody likes to be lied about. It doesn't feel good. And with the invention of social media, it's easy to post and tweet a lie and then have others read it as if it's the truth. So we don't know what's like. I mean, there's people who may be lying on them, and there may be people that are telling the truth. I don't know that Marjorie's going to get up and tell everybody, "Hey guys, I cheated on my husband." I mean, at the end of the day, she's putting up this post saying that people are lying about her. We don't know. But at the end of the day, Shirley Strawberry seems to know that they are going through some sort of personal hell. And maybe it's just that people are talking about them and making their life miserable. But at the end of the day, the rumors are what the rumors are. And the rumors were that Steve had made an appointment with some sort of high profile divorce attorney, and that Marjorie had been into something. And we know that Marjorie has been married and Steve has been married a couple of times. And it's not out of the realm of something that could be possible, right? So I guess they're feeling some type of way. And that was just kind of their damage control. But I hadn't seen this post. But the thing that is strange to me, just like I showed you before with these two are always posted up. And Marjorie is definitely very much into fashion, and they are always going somewhere, doing something. It was just New York Fashion Week. It's just rolled into Milan, and then it goes to Paris Fashion Week. And these two are like missing in action. So he said that Marjorie was on grandmother duty and all of the things, but these two are not posting on their Instagram. I didn't check his Twitter, but of course his Facebook is being tended to, because I don't know that he tends to his Facebook. Very recently there was some situation on Twitter with his Twitter feed that someone who runs his social media posted something that he didn't like and had a problem with that. But these two are not posting up in the way that they typically do. And it just, to me, it does seem a little bit odd. It's not like their normal routine. Marjorie is always posting. She's always posting her clothes. She's posting her fashion. She's posting herself going here, there, everywhere, walking around Paris. I don't even know if she even lives in the United States anymore. It seems like she spends a lot of time in Paris, and maybe that's where she enjoys. But it does seem, a lot of times people will refer to what the normal habits are, and the normal habits are is that these two are normally suited, dressed, posting. And for a minute now, that is not what they have been doing. So she ends up posting this situation on here talking about basically biblical scriptures about people lying on her. And to me, I'm just going to be honest, Marjorie doesn't seem like the type of woman that cares about people talking about her, because when you are a beautiful, high profile, um, someone who is married well, and you've got plenty of money, you probably are used to people talking about you and should not care about people talking about you, um, only if maybe there is some truth to this situation. So I don't know what the deal is, but her last post, and it's 4 weeks ago, is that, how to deal when people are lying on you. And I'm just wondering why it bothers you so much, and why you and your husband don't seem to be posted up like you normally are. That's the odd thing to me, is 4 weeks ago, that was the last thing that they posted. They've posted nothing else since. And Steve is not posting as much. That was the anniversary. That was like 12 weeks ago. We saw that when they were enjoying their anniversary, and she's over there playing the piano and walking through this whole sequence. And then the last thing that's posted is this very kind of basically grin in the face of the people who are offending you, and just wait for the ultimate judge to only judge you, which is fine. But I don't know why, if you feel like people are lying, why you would even care. You know what I mean? I would think that people who have been in the public eye for as long as these two have would be very much used to people saying things that may or may not be true. And it just seems like, just kind of like a not a typical gesture. So obviously it really must be bothersome. So there they are, I guess, at their property. And then she is being super grandma. And then here we are on August 27th, which was a month ago. I mean, she posts pretty regularly. They are not posting at all. They're still following each other. But it just seems a little weird to me. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I just thought it was strange. And it was an interesting just tie in that, like, Shirley and Nesto, for two people who really seem to be so plugged into their faith and everything going on, um, how Shirley missed such huge signs. Let me see. And hello to everyone coming in. I was over there on Instagram, so not paying as much attention to the chat. So um I'm not going to keep y'all long. I thought that was so funny when I was listening to phone calls from prison, and Shirley is giving Nesto a Bible study, and he's asking, and girl, when you hear this, I'm just going to play a little bit and we're going to talk about it. This was just crazy to me. This guy is just, I don't even understand how she got mixed up with this guy. I really don't. And then just to also talk about one other thing really quick. So some people have asked, well, how did she meet this guy? Okay, so I guess there's two stories. Hey Corey, how are you? Hey sis, hey Darla, hey Lady Magenta, um, Tammy, how are you? Um, so the word on the street is that Ebony Steele and Shirley used to get their hair done in the same place. Okay. And then so there's one tie-in. And then the other tie-in is that she says a friend introduced them. Okay. Um, Either way, Steve wants no parts of Ernesto, and he wants to be separated from it. And I'm also going to show you another thing that I thought was weird. Like, for people who seem like they want something to go away, it's just weird. Like, if you want things to go away, you kind of go back to normal business. And normal business would be Steve and Marjorie posting up all their outfits, all their escapades, and what they're up to because they pretty much stay active on social media. And that's not what they're doing. So they can do what they want to do. But what I'm saying is, it makes people suspicious when you're doing things differently from what you would normally be doing. Does that make sense to everybody? Um, so to me, it's almost kind of like obvious that something is up. Now, I'm not calling this woman out. I don't know what she's been up to, but clearly something is changed. Either they fired all their social media people and there's nobody tending to posting, or they're not posting because maybe they're not together. I don't know. It's the literacy for me. Okay. Let's roll over here to a little bit of comic relief for just a moment. Because the jokes just write themselves. Hey, Miss Mabes. Hey, Boo Boo. Hey, Darlene. Hey, let me see. Is it Lady Tanya? Hey, boo boo. And God is in control. Hey, boo boo. What's going on? Renee. Hello, everyone. Karen, Kitty Cat. Okay, let's listen to this little part. I thought this was funny. This solidifies what we already know about Ernesto, is that Sir is not bright. Okay. Let me see. Let's get into it.
I ain't crazy. I definitely know that. So yeah, I finally finished reading Job again. You finally read it? You done with it? Reading it again. Yeah, I read it again. And what was the last result or the purpose of that? Well, the last result was, Job was upset with God. And God, he was. No, I'm laughing because that's how I felt this weekend. That's how I felt. Yeah, he was in such a bad way. But God told him, you don't even understand what's happening. You don't even know what my plans are. You have no clue. You just getting in the way of something you don't even know about it. So Job had to apologize and tell God he was sorry. God was mad at his friends, Job's friends, and he told them to go get some animals, you know, from their farm and sacrifice them to Job. And he said, I won't even deal, because of Job, I'm not going to even deal with you as harshly as I would, because you don't even know me. You spoke wrongly of me. And then after Job, and then he told Job to pray for his friends. And after Job prayed for his friends, then God blessed him with twice as much as he had before. And Job lived to see his fourth generation live. He lived for another 140 years. Is that even possible that a human can live 140 years? Well, back then it was, Is that even possible that a human can live 140 years? Well, back then it was, You have to put that with today's times. Back then it was. Methuselah lived to be 900 or something back in the day, back in the book now. Yeah. His fourth generation lived. He lived for another 140 years. Is that even possible that a human can live 140 years? Well,
I'm thinking to myself, Ernesto has never been in anybody's church. He's never, he hadn't been in nobody's church. Okay. Period. All right. This man is dumb as a bag of rocks. Okay. Is that even possible that somebody could live 140? She said he lived to be an additional 100. We don't even know how old he was. Okay. But at the end of the day, Ernesto, why don't you focus at the matter of hand? She's trying to give you some encouragement about your lousy situation, but it's just crazy to me that this guy is so dingy. And then she sits there, he laughs, she laughs. It's like it, I don't even understand what's going on with these two. They are just the weirdest couple ever. And for a woman who is constantly talking about the Bible or trying to give him some sort of encouragement, these two people, in some way, I almost feel like, do you two even know each other? Like, I know we've talked about this several times, but it just becomes more and more obvious that I don't know if this was some sort of financial arrangement, if this was some sort of, I don't even know. It just seems like these two did not know each other at all. The conversations are so casual and so surface level, so not deep at all. They don't talk about anything. If they talk about family, it's so and so's coming to get the car. So and so needs to make sure you have a ride. It's how much longer are you paying so and so's rent? You never hear anything about how's so and so doing. Are they doing okay? How's the kids doing in school? Make sure you give so and so a hug for me. Baby, I miss you so much. I can't wait for you to make me this, that, or the third. It's weird. It's weird. These they don't even sound like they know each other. Um, no, he didn't. He got a kid's Bible. That man might not even be able to read. I'm sorry. He's not doing anything like that. Steve said on the radio they're going on vacation and he ain't posting no pics. Oh, okay. As he should. I was thinking, if they wanted to thumb their noses at us, why not post up and floss, right? Maybe they are going on vacation but not together. I mean, why be worried about what social media thinks? You know what I mean? You're worried about people talking about y'all not being together, and here's your opportunity where you will be photographed plenty. They're probably getting ready to go off to Europe because Marjorie can't not be at those damn fashion shows. That's if you go through Marjorie's, first of all, her timeline used to be called The Lady Loves Couture. Do you guys remember that? It wasn't just Marjorie Harvey. Back in the day, I remember when she first put up her Instagram, because I used to listen to Steve Harvey a lot, but I don't commute to work anymore. And I her Instagram used to be called The Lady Loves Couture. And it was always her going to some fashion house, some high-end designer, some sort of fashion week, all of just everything that we're used to seeing on her feed. And when people's feeds change, sometimes it's because their habits change. Obviously, this is more of like a personal feed. I don't know. I'm not going to put too much into it, but very good that he says they're going on vacation. It doesn't, I guess we'll see if they actually went together, but if they are in some cities where there's paparazzi following them or keeping up with what they're doing, we'll see it. I mean, they may not be taking pictures, but it will be posted, I'm sure. Um Girl, okay, Darlene, absolutely. Shirley is the type that looks for all the feel good messages, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, her husband is a total disgrace at the end of the day. And she knows good and well that she had no business with that man, for one reason or another, whether they are, people say, oh, you can tell that they're not evenly yoked. They very well may be. You know what I mean? Who's to say they're not? That's her boo. She been with this. She's been rocking with him since three other arrests, right? Okay. Um. Okay, so they're going on vacation and not posting. Okay. Hold on a second. And the funny thing to me is that they still got her up on here as the chief love officer. Okay, which I find hilarious. I don't know why they call her the CLO. I guess because of the strawberry letter, obviously, but it's interesting. So anyway, what they did on the morning show, let me show you guys this if you hadn't seen this, cuz I didn't notice it the other day when we looked at it. They have September 11th. Keep in mind that date. September 11th, when Shirley did her big apology. They have that pinned. So just in case that's what you're coming here for, to their Facebook page, y'all, they got that pinned. They have it as a feature post.
All right, Steve, I'm going to just start by saying that
I'm
my
sorry.
estranged husband is in jail.
Okay.
He's been in jail for over a year, since about right after the 4th of July of 2022. And recently, some phone calls from last year between he and I were leaked. And on those calls, you hear me saying you were winded going up the stairs at your home. And Marjorie looks at us as the help. And right here and now, I want to apologize to you and Marjorie for what I said. As much as I wish I could, I can't take it back. I can't. I said it. And, I want to apologize. It was definitely not me trying to add to what you and Marjorie already have going on in your lives right now. But the fact that these
Which is what? What is going on?
tapes were released, it does seem like everyone is coming to you, coming for you, I should say, at this time,
Thank
including
you,
me.
Miss
But
DS
in
Strawberries.
reality,
Thank you.
the tapes have nothing to do with what you and Marjorie have going on. It was just me running my mouth in a private conversation, or what I thought was a private conversation. And
Wait a second. You know what? I was trying to figure out what your name was because I was like, you need a. I don't even know what I said before, but it just clicked. It's you need a breath mint. Stop it. I was like, oh, okay. Hey, Unita. I thought that was a real name, but it's y'all. Do you see this name? You need a breath mint. Okay. It just clicked. All right. Okay. That was funny. Thank you so much, Miss DS Strawberries. I appreciate that. Steve, Shirley, Nesto is twice dead and plucked up by the roots. Um, if the truck is in Shirley's name, it is not paid for, and she needs a car. I don't understand why she wouldn't trade it in. I'm assuming that she'll still be making payments on it. Um, because her credit's bad. She may be able to, is that what you said over here? Now tell me, why did Shirley say that the truck can't be parked where she resides? Maybe because they have too many. I know. So let's just say, like in my neighborhood, for instance, they want all your cars parked in your driveway, like, because we have an HOA, right? Not to say we can't park on the street, but you're not going to make a habit out of parking on the street. The street is for guests, right? Because you have ample parking. You got a garage, and then you got 4 spaces to park cars in your driveway. And some people may even have more than that. But at the end of the day, maybe they have ample cars already in their spots, and or maybe it's being looked for. So a couple different reasons, but I would say if the car doesn't suit Shirley for driving, why wouldn't she just sell it? Is your question? You need a breath mint? Uh, is she has bad credit, and maybe the car was purchased when credit was a little better, and based on what they have going on right now, she might not qualify even for a car, maybe not even for a buy here, pay here. I don't know. What do you guys think?
again, I apologize. I feel terrible. I make no excuses. I said what I said, not me
What
trying.
do you guys think about this apology? I know we've talked about it several times. This apology was 2.5 weeks ago now. It seems like it was 2.5 months ago, but she apologized for. What did she apologize for? Did she just apologize for saying what she said, but she's not apologizing for what she
And
said?
now, I want to apologize to you and Marjorie for what I said. As much as I wish I could, I can't take it back. I can't. I said it. And, I want to apologize. It was definitely not me trying to add to what you and Marjorie already have going on in your lives right now. But the fact that these tapes were released, it does seem like everyone is coming to you, coming for you, I should say, at this time, including me. But in reality, the tapes have nothing to do with what you and Marjorie have going on. It was just me running my mouth in a private conversation, or what I thought was a private conversation. And again, I apologize. I feel terrible. I make no excuses. I said what I said, and there's no denying it. There's no taking it back. Back then.
How about I really, but on top of that, I wasn't trying to, I wasn't taught, look, at the end of the, I mean, that's how I feel. But as far as like the hate or jealousy, she might be a little bit of jealous of Marjorie because Marjorie actually has a husband who cares. And whether they're really together or not, Shirley has a husband who does not. And Marjorie has a beautiful home, and Shirley's living in a room. And Marjorie, you know what I'm saying? Like Marjorie's situation is on the complete opposite of Shirley's. And I could understand why she might be a little envious or going on these trips. Look, this is what I also think. When you look on Steve's website, okay, let's pivot for a second. Let me go over here. I'm gonna go on to another part of Steve because Tommy is over there with his wife. They're over there in Italy. They are over there at the winery. Everybody is living their lives. Carla is over there at Beyonce. Um, Carla is over there at that's not on here, but let me see. Where's Tommy? And I know Tommy just got over cancer. Look at that. Tommy was sick and he's got his wife by his side. I might not be on the right. Hold on. Where is it? Okay, I'm too far back. But this is my point. Um Everyone's living their lives. They're very happy. They got they're living. Shirley is okay. Shirley is over there to her friend's house living in a room. You know what I'm saying? So it's unfortunate for her, but she might be feeling a little bit of jealousy right now, or just feeling like, why me? She's over here praising the Lord, reading her Bible. I just don't understand when she says stuff, she's existing, right? She's not thriving or anything. When she said to Nesto, the way you move around the city and you need to have your stuff in order, that tells me right there you knew something. Why are you saying the way he moves around the city, he needs to have his stuff in order? He needs to have
And when the
he
phone
needs to have things expunged. He needs to cuz you already knew he's fugazi. You already may have known he was traveling around with a firearm. I don't know what she knew or not. And that, of course, obviously, girl, let me drop my banner. But at the end of the day, that's just opinion. When you're saying the way you move around the city, you need to have things expunged. You need to have things taken care of. You've got warrants for arrest. The way you move around the city, how is he moving around the city, Shirley? Like tell how is he moving around the city? He's riding around dirty? Is that why, you know what I mean? Like in 8 years he's been arrested 3 times. So I don't know if that was the 3rd time or if this was the 4th time, but she knew something of what and who she's married to. This is not a surprise. Like at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that this is not a surprise. Like she may not have known everything and she may not know all of the details, but there's something that sis had to have known of what was going on with this man that she's with because obviously You know that he's been, and then when you sat up there and said when you got a phone call from the jail, you didn't answer it because you didn't know who would be calling. Okay. Did she not say she had no earthly idea who would be calling her from Fulton County? But the man's been arrested 3 times. That also told me homie is not home sometimes. For her to not miss a beat, for him to not come home and not be worried, not be calling anything, it probably was quite all right for him to not even come home. So when he was running around with Sonya and Erica and all the other people and not coming home, maybe that wasn't out of the ordinary because he didn't come home. So when he got pinched, well, he hadn't been home in a couple of days. Well, Fulton County's calling. She probably was thinking, I don't have any money.
Calls happened, I was trying to stand by my man, be supportive wife, you know. Um, I've been married to this man for 8 years. I had no idea that all this was going on with him. I had no idea.
Stop lying. You said, Bebe, we've been married 8 years and you've been arrested 3 times. Why are you sitting up there lying on the strawberry letter? Look, September 11th, 8:31 in the morning, Shirley apologizes to Uncle Steve and Mrs. Harvey. She shares that Uncle Steve did not introduce. This was what was important for Steve to have on his website, y'all. Shirley apologizes to Uncle Steve and Mrs. Harvey. She shares to Uncle Steve, she shares that Uncle Steve did not introduce Ernesto to her. A former friend did. She is in the process of getting a divorce from her estranged husband that she's not married to. It's like, did y'all, are y'all up on the actual story over here? What divorce? What marriage? She's not even married. He married 2 other women ahead of her on top of the one he OG married 38 years ago. She's in the process of getting a fake divorce from her fake husband, from her estranged husband, whom she has not spoken to in quite some time. That's because he's on the iPad and he flipped his pin. Okay? That's just my opinion. There's plenty of phone calls, but the phone calls he's making are not being picked up. And there is about 4 or 5 phone calls that are not Ernesto. I've told you guys that for about a month now, that I think that he gave his PIN to someone who's making phone calls on his account, and he's probably making phone calls on their account because the guy sounds like his name should be Grady, and he's calling his bail bondsman, and it has nothing to do with Ernesto. And then there's some other guy who sounds like he is, I don't even know, like a bum on the street, talking about, hey, did so and so get out of jail yet? Is he home yet? Oh, yeah, he got out. Well, he can't accept no collect call. If you guys want me to play that for you tomorrow, I will. He can't accept no collect call. You got your pencil? Yeah, I got a pencil. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you the. Somebody was calling to inquire about somebody else at somebody great grandmother's house, and she was talking about you got a pencil.
And the charges that he's facing are horrific. They are really bad. I for sure did not want your name mentioned in any kind
You
of
got a
way
pencil.
associated with my mess. So I had to call you. I had to tell you it
Jesus.
was a hard call for me to make. But I
Shirley, stop. In the process, she is in the process of getting a fake divorce from her fake husband, whom she has not spoken to in quite some time. While she knew the phone calls was recorded. Why did I say was? Guys, I've been okay. While she knew the phone calls were recorded, she did not know they would ever be released to the world. Okay? That's what was important for the caption, okay? On a featured post, you would think they'd want to forget about this by now, but they know that this is the post, okay? 764,000 eyeballs on it. You can't see it. Hold on, let me move Nesto and Shirley's dinner date. Okay. 764,000 views, over 5,000 comments. Um, the newest comments, let's see. Well, I may be different. Look at this. Main 206. Okay, people they got funny names. Okay. Main 206 says, "Well, I may be different, but I never heard contempt or shade in the conversation. If I heard it and I was Marjorie or Steve, I wouldn't think it was shady." I didn't think it was very shady either. She was fangirling over what Marjorie has, okay? I don't think that that was a big deal. Um anyway, okay, there was a let me see. All the jail calls are recorded and subject to leaks. Wonder how much she got paid. Nobody, these people are just weird. They just, everybody's, so, not everyone, because, okay. I'm quite sure Steve has talked to Marjorie about your husband. You handled it like a classy woman. Girl, Marjorie's husband was in the penitentiary and she went and got with his brother, I think. Um, I don't understand why imperfect. Okay. All right. You sorry. You sorry you got caught. You speak from the heart. Move on and shed more of your. Okay. I think we read those comments already. Okay. Let's
I
just let her
called you.
finish up.
And I want to clear something up, Steve. You did not introduce me to him. I met him through a friend. I should say an ex-friend now. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. I had to tell you, he was in jail. It was going to come out. I didn't want you to hear it from anyone else. I wanted you to hear it from me because I knew once the police and everyone, got involved, and they were already involved, and they found out who his wife was and who she worked with and all of that, and that's you, Steve Harvey, it would become, a real big story because it's you, your name. And like I told you, Steve, when I called you, I didn't want to call you. I mean, I was embarrassed. I was hurt. I felt so stupid and, I felt betrayed, humiliated. It was just terrible. I mean, I kept saying to myself, how is this my life? Police and jail.
Because you chose that ninja. You chose him. He had the nice teeth, some nice skin, a groomed beard, a low fade, a $200,000 car, and he had a piece in those pants that made you forget about reason. Okay? That's what happened. That's your life. And then when he got arrested the first time, you took him back for the second time. And then when the second time happened, you took him back for the third time. And then you've been rocking with him up until you got busted recently or until you found out the severity of the charges. And I guess now it's just like you got to let the ratchet go. That's really what happened. You just can't go any further with this. But I don't know how, if she had not been exposed, if she would really have been, if she would still be with this dude.
And all of this, it was just something that I didn't, I'd never experienced anything like this. The police came, they took my car. I was at the salon getting my hair done. They rolled up, took my car. I had to have my stylist take me home. I had to move in with friends. I lost my house. I lost everything.
I think she was already living with friends because they did not have a house. Now, I don't know where they were living leading up to him being arrested, but it seemed like they may have already been living with some people. Does that not seem like potentially what the truth was? I wonder what the living arrangement was early on from the beginning. Um, that might be interesting to see about finding out, because I don't know, because they didn't have a house. Because remember she said but we still didn't have a house. So I don't know where they were staying.
Everything. Oh, and I have to tell you this too. Um, like on the day, July 4th, we were having dinner with friends and we were going to watch the fireworks after that. And so the fireworks didn't happen that night because it was like a terrible, terrible storm. So the fireworks got canceled. And when I look back, I see now that that was kind of a metaphor for what was about to
Girl,
happen. And
somebody said, "Don't forget to mention the fireworks. Don't forget to mention the rainstorm was coming." Okay, and put in about 4 Jobs. Okay, don't forget.
my life, the
Okay,
thunderstorms were coming. They were coming. The next day was the last time I saw him. He was arrested the very, very next.
what happened to her paycheck? I mean, I think he cleaned out those bank accounts. I don't even know what happened. They might have gone to Erica King's Gucci sunglasses and bags and everything. I don't know, may have gone for hair appointments and nails, but doesn't she get like a regular paycheck from Steve Harvey?
Next day. Um, I didn't even know he was arrested. I couldn't get in touch with him. I got a call from the jail and, I didn't answer it because I'm like, who would be calling me from jail?
Your husband, who's been arrested a multitude of times. Like, what? Do you hear her telling, like, is Miss Shirley lying to us in this apology or what? I mean, when I first heard this, I guess I really didn't think, but we hadn't heard the phone call yet of her jumping into his ass saying, "You've been arrested." And I mean, obviously, if you go to Fulton County and you see the timeline, but I didn't know whether she knew about what he had going on or not. But when she jumped into his ass that day, talking to him about what had been going on, and then you compare that to her talking to the audience, it's like, but Shirley, you knew. You chastised him on the phone for getting arrested a multitude of times since y'all have been married. So that's kind of not
I looked
truthful.
at my phone like,
How would you not know it was Fulton County? You can't get in touch with him. Now all of a sudden Fulton County is calling and he's been arrested on several occasions. What's going on?
the next day was the last time I saw him. He was arrested the very, very next day. I didn't even know he was arrested. I couldn't get in touch with him. I got a call from the jail and, I didn't answer it because I'm like, who would be calling me from jail? I looked at my phone like jail.
That's where I kind of have to call bullshit, because I'm like, Shirley, why are you lying to the people? What do you mean? Who would be calling you? Your husband that gets arrested all the time, sis. That's who would be calling. How did you not know? Oh, me and my quiet voice. Shirley, you know who was calling. You got your pencil. Hey, did so and so get out? Yeah. Is uh is so and so. He can't accept no collect calls. You got his number? I give it to you. Get a pencil.
Oh, where'd this call? It just didn't compute. So I just ignored it. But he got word to me through one of his friends. They texted me that he was at Fulton County Jail. So the next time he called, I picked up, and that was him that had called earlier from jail. And
It's a lie. It's like, Shirley, sis, you busted. I'm sorry. You Shirley. Shirley, boo boo. Chief Love Officer, ma'am. Ma'am.
He told me what happened. I thought he would be getting out in a couple of days because that's what he told me.
What, Nesto?
But of course, here we are a year later. Those days turned into weeks, the weeks turned into months, and like I said, I don't. This is just on and on. Every day it's just something.
Girl, let my husband come home a couple hours late. I'm be beside myself, walking up and down, walking everywhere. Like, what is going on? Where is he? Hello? I mean, you got to give people some breathing room, but damn, a couple of days? That's normal over there at your house? Damn.
And my life has just been a nightmare ever since, and it's still going on, Steve. I
Hey,
mean, I had no
Tessie. Hey, boo
idea that
boo.
those tapes would be released to the world. I knew that they were being recorded, but I didn't know that they were going to.
Okay, Tamika, Steve took credit for fixing them up when it was good. Okay? But when it turned to a shit show, now it's a problem. Now it's a problem that it's featured on the Steve
Go out to the
Harvey.
world.
Hold
I
on a
mean, I was
second.
just trying to make conversation with
Look at
him,
this. Look at this.
trying to, just get him to think about
Featured.
something other than where he was. I was telling him about my.
Oops, my bad.
All right, Steve, I'm gonna just start by saying, like on the day, July 4th, we were having dinner with friends and we were going to watch the fireworks after that. And so the fireworks didn't happen that night because it was like a terrible, terrible storm. So the fireworks got canceled. And when I look back, I see now that that was kind of a metaphor for what was about to happen in my life. The thunderstorms were coming, they were coming. The next day was the
No,
last.
it was actually Roswell Police Department. They were coming. That's who was coming. It was what's the lady's name? Detective Fields. Was that her name? And police officer Tim Lupo, the one who was like, they were getting people involved into credit scams, and they were promising that they could fix your brand and help you achieve your goals.
Last time I saw him, he was arrested the very, very next day. I didn't even know he was arrested. I couldn't get in touch with him. I got a call from the jail, and I didn't answer it because I'm like, who would be calling me from jail? I looked at my phone like, jail? Where'd this call? It just didn't compute. So I just ignored it.
That's where I'm like, Shirley, you shouldn't have said all that, sis. You really shouldn't have. Okay? That wasn't cute.
But he got word to me through one of his friends. They texted me that he was at Fulton County Jail. So the next time he called, I picked up, and that was him that had called earlier from jail. And he told me what happened. I thought he would be getting out in a couple of days because that's what he told me. But of course, here we are a year later. Those days turned into weeks, the weeks turned into months, and like I said, I don't. This is just on and on. Every day it's just something, and my life has just been a nightmare ever since, and it's still going on, Steve. I mean, I had no idea that those tapes would be released to the world. I knew that they were being recorded, but I didn't know that they were going to go out to the world. I mean, I was just trying to make conversation with him, trying to just get him to think about something other than where he was. I was telling him about my day, this particular day, and that was the day we were talking about, on the phone when I said those things about you and the things that you heard and the world heard. And cut to today, I haven't spoken to him in quite some time. Divorce proceedings are underway. And Steve,
So divorce proceedings are underway. The people, the super sleuths of the YouTube streets were able to crack this case in like a couple of days, and all of the wives came out of the woodwork. But you're over here talking about what you talk about, sis. Sis, can you repeat that for us one more time, girl? Because I'm gonna need for you to stop telling these stories out here because the internet, ma'am, ma'am. Divorce, guys, 509 of you. Shirley says the divorce proceedings are underway. What divorce? Girl, he's been married for damn near 40 years. And then he married another lady, and they were married like 20 years. And then he married another lady who was smart enough to get up out of there in 2 years, but his marriage to her wasn't legal either, and yours definitely isn't. What divorce are you paying for? How are you in some divorce proceedings? Your lawyer hadn't called you yet to tell you that that thing is null and void. You hadn't heard, Shirley. Have you heard that your husband is married like a bunch of other people? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I haven't spoken to him in quite some time. Divorce proceedings are underway. And Steve, at this point, all I could say is what I have is my faith. If it wasn't for God, I probably would have, lost my mind or something in this instance. People don't see what happens when these mics go off. Who wants their personal stuff, their private conversations to go out
He
to
would have to
public?
make
No
his
one,
own
no one wants
fireworks,
that. I
okay?
mean, what could I say to you after this, happened? I was devastated. I mean, absolutely devastated. I mean, I thought of everything, I could lose my job. How could I face you? Everything, what I'm going through is what I'm going through, and I've been going through it for over a year. I just haven't spoken about it. Then on top of all that, these tapes come out and I'm talking about you and Marjorie, and you guys are going through your own private hell right now. You didn't need me to contribute to anything, and I thought back, because I knew I had to say something, speak on. You created this term years ago in Los Angeles called reality radio, and I'm
Y'all, let me get caught up on these comments really quick so we can. Surely, do you guys like when we heard this 2.5 weeks ago? It sounded good at first, right? But now listening to it, Shirley is the real OG. She's the triple OG. Shirley is a real OG. Nesto OG needs to give Shirley a crown. Wait, let me find my crown. Hold on a second. Girl, he could. The only other thing that would knock me off my socks right now is if Shirley was sitting at her desk and got up and girl was pregnant. If Shirley was pregnant with a baby, y'all, I would die. I would just die right now. Okay. Let me see if I can find my crown. Hold on. Let me see what I can find. I got a crown over here somewhere. Girl, we gonna Shirley get surprised tonight, girl. She can at least get some flowers. That's what I do know. She can definitely get some flowers. Uh, girl, I don't know if I can. Okay, Shirley. Where are my damn flowers, girl? I mean, this is some. I don't know what's going on here. These two, these two are going out with a bang. Okay, all this storytelling. I don't know what's going on here. This is a whole mess. It's like Shirley. I wish they would address the newer calls. I wish Shirley would do a strawberry letter every single week to give her reaction on the phone call drops. Because after you told us that you didn't know who was calling from Fulton County, knowing good and damn well that man has been over downtown on several occasions, you knew who it was. You just didn't want to deal with it. Girl, give Shirley her crown. That's not the crown I wanted to give her, but this is good enough for tonight. Girl, let's let her finish up a
I'm gonna
little.
tell
Let's
you
give her a
right now,
couple
this
more
is
minutes.
about as real as it gets, you know.
Sure.
And the reason I'm here before you now, I wanted to say it live on the radio, is because your name is in it. You know, we've been friends for a long time, Steve, and these jail calls were made public, and
There's some people who felt like maybe once upon a time, I wonder if Shirley ever had a crush on Steve and thought Steve was going to be hers. And when he got his divorce, I mean, I don't know. Look, I'm just throwing something out here. There's people out here who have dropped in the comments that they're like, I wonder if Shirley was ever crushing on her boss. You know what I mean? And maybe she felt some type of way that he never picked her and he picked Marjorie when he finally became free. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know if those two ever were anything other than, good coworkers, brother and sister types. She knew exactly who was called. Girl, she was like, not again. Not again. This is 4th of July. What are you doing? What happened? Everyone's blaming Nesto. Shirley was in on the scam. She knew he couldn't afford that ring. Girl, a 250,000. She got a celebrity diamond ring. She got the type of diamond ring that like Kevin Hart or Steve would buy for Marjorie. Like, no tea, no shade. But at the end of the day, yeah. I mean, that is a hell of a ring. You're walking around with you're walking around with a house. For some people in some parts of the country, that may even be two houses, several vehicles. You are walking around with a damn lot of money on your finger. Okay. So, yes, great point. Okay. Irene, very good point. You had a very expensive wedding ring on your hand, and you know good and well that that man was all up in your credit and you guys weren't even paying rent. Garnishments are a world of hurt. I used to order bank and wage garnishments for a living. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. So yeah, they were doing a little bit of Bible study earlier, guys. And then Marjorie posts some kind of little cryptic um passage coming from First Peter on when people, falsely accuse you. Nobody likes to be lied about. It doesn't feel good with the invention of social media. It's easy to post or tweet a lie. Um, but shoot, just because you say it's not true doesn't mean that that's true. Because just like Shirley said, she didn't know who was calling from Fulton County, but your husband has been arrested 3 times in 8 years. How is it that you did not know who was calling from Fulton County? And that maybe she can't add, okay, my husband's not home. I'm calling. I can't get in touch with him. I'm getting a random phone call from Fulton County Jail. Then you think, oh, my husband's been arrested 8 times, 3 times in 8 years. You didn't think that that might be your husband calling?
wanted to give you and Marjorie a public apology and to ask for your forgiveness publicly. I just wanted to have a real moment with you. And, you know, I have to tell you, I've been coming to work every day because, it's my only
Sis
safe
going,
haven right now. It gave me a
sis is going for the gusto. She's trying to keep her job at this moment.
place where I could still be myself and forget my troubles for a little while, and just, do my job. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you, of course, Steve, Tommy, Junior, and of course, my girl Carla, for the space and the grace that you guys have shown me. This is a very difficult time in my life, is if you can imagine. I love you guys. We're family, and I thank you. And I just want to thank everyone. I'm just trying to live. I'm sorry for what you and your wife are going through right now in your life. And I hate your names were dragged into my drama because you certainly don't deserve it.
Mm. And this is what Steve had to say. And these are featured posts, guys. This is 3 weeks ago. Nothing more important has happened.
Let me say this to you.
Now, Steve, let's look at this real quick. Oh, okay. So Steve's response right here, Steve's version. Look,
Shirley.
They pinned Steve first, right? Hold up. They pinned Steve's first, then Shirley's. Steve has 750,000 views. Steve has 300,000. Shirley got double the views. They got this pinned over here on Facebook.
Let me say this to you, Shirley. We have known about this right after it happened.
Right.
But we can't get in nobody's marriage and just go, girl, what you doing? What you thinking? What you feeling?
Say nothing.
Right. They didn't want to say nothing.
We didn't want to talk
because we didn't want to talk about it, and we wanted to create for you a space where you could come to work. And
you guys think she was coming and saying, "Oh yeah, me and Nesto went to the movies last night," and they know good and well that he was on Slammer magazine at the gas station, that someone saw his mugshot. Okay. So you guys knew exactly after it happened. Here's Tommy chiming all the way in. We knew, we didn't just want to say anything.
What you doing? What you thinking? What you feeling?
Say nothing.
Right. They didn't want to say nothing.
We didn't want to talk
because we didn't want to talk about it, and we wanted.
You go to the gas station, they got the little newspaper right there at when you're buying some gum. And they got all the mugshots from the day before, literally. Now, you might be innocent. I mean, you might have just got picked up on something for some reason. You could have been anything, right? But your mugshot will show up. So they knew. He said they knew. Shirley, let me tell you something. We knew right after this happened.
About this right after it happened.
We knew it right after it happened.
We can't get in nobody's marriage and just go, girl, what you doing? What you thinking? What you feeling?
Say nothing.
Right.
That's how you talk to Shirley. Girl, what you doing?
Want to say nothing.
We didn't want to talk
because we didn't want to talk about it, and we wanted to create for you a space where you could come to work and have some moments, because I know what it's like.
And you did.
To get beaten and eaten alive. And so it became, for us, let's just be there for her. And when you want to tell us, you will tell us.
Yes.
When you're ready. Now, good thing you had Monica, Mississippi Monica, who has been with you this whole ride. You did confide in her. So Monica would keep us posted, but until you wanted to.
Hey, y'all, I just had lunch with Shirley. She told me what's going on with Nesto, but she's going to tell y'all that she's going to Myrtle Beach for the weekend. They're going to be out of town. She actually just moved over to her friend Tasha's house and put everything in storage. Shirley just lost her house. She don't want anybody to know. She's just going to tell you guys that they're going off to Vegas next week, okay? Don't say anything. Don't say anything, okay? Just be cool.
To invite us in, we were just left over here as a support system. And so we would just
have fun, girl. Oh yeah, bring me back some.
But can I just say this?
You give me some saltwater taffy.
I look at you guys as my family. We all are family. A lot of times we there was a time when we saw each other more than we saw our actual families. And
I thought, look, the fact that they felt like they couldn't say anything to you, the fact that he said we can't just go jump into somebody's marriage, y'all are not family, y'all are coworkers, okay? That's why they couldn't do that. They couldn't say anything. And the fact that they attached Mississippi Monica to you is because they probably just didn't want you going over the edge.
It was just so hard for me I'm a private person, but we all have our stuff. We talk afterwards. We're friends. We're all that. It was just hard for me to bring this particular thing up. I was just so embarrassed, and humiliated. And I just felt
Look at his
like a
face.
fool. I
Look at
felt
Steve's
so
face, guys.
stupid. And, I couldn't.
Steve is really trying to have his moment, but look at his face, y'all. Steve is like, Shirley, I let you talk for about 20 minutes. Can you please let me get to Marjorie?
It's not that I didn't want to talk about
Look
it.
at his eyes
I
blinking.
just couldn't find the words. And that's the honest to God's truth. I just couldn't come to you guys. If you had come to me, I would have opened up. But, I understand, but I couldn't. It was too much. It was just too much for me at that time,
Okay, Shirley, we
Okay.
get, my wife and me, we've been getting beat up for the past 2 weeks. But when something like this happens, our motto has always been to never address bloggers.
Right.
And we don't give it no room or Steve.
No life.
No, nothing, because we know who we are and we know whose we are. And so we don't address bloggers. When this came out, it's a little bit different because it's not gossip, rumor, or malicious lie. It came from the inside circle, because we are inside circle. We are family. And so when it came out, Marjorie is on baby watch right now. We got another grandchild coming, and the baby's due any minute. So Marjorie's over there on baby watch. She's just doing grandmama duty. And Marjorie don't really get into all this right here. And so I didn't really, look, I'm so used to getting beat up, but I didn't know how Marjorie was feeling about everything that's out there. Mm-hmm. Because these bottom feeders are just beating my wife up. And even though we've made a conscious effort and we said we're not going to address it, I'm tired. And so when this came out, this is how the devil worked. I'm going to pile it on. I'm going to go get somebody that worked for me. Because one more time, God don't come. The devil don't come for those he got. He sends.
Wait, okay. What did you want me to say? How am I supposed to say it? It's a sermonette every single time. Okay. Do you guys notice they love to throw a little sermonette out here?
The ones he has. So now I'm going to get me a government employee that needs
lies,
some money, that
lies,
work in Fulton County.
Lies. It was Cobb County. Lies.
I'm going to get a hold of him.
Lies.
I'm going to release these tapes.
Lies.
I'm going to get him to need a little bit of money.
Lies.
I'm going to give it to this female blogger.
Lies.
And she going to get a little bit of money.
Lies.
And now I'm going to soak them. But this
lies. Okay. Oh, like this, who made this up for them?
Timing of it was ugly because of everything else that's going on right now. Right. And it made it look like Shirley was piling on. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't her intent, but it happened. Like I say, I understand. The part I'm coming with now is because it's been so ugly for my wife, man. And see, this is what I've never done before. It's been so ugly for my wife. And I've stood there trying not to say nothing, but I'm not a blog. Me, Shirley, Carla, Tommy, Mississippi Jr., we ain't a blog. We're a real media platform. And I don't know if you all know what it's like to wake up every morning that we get up, and our job and mission is to brighten your day. And it don't matter how dark our day is. We got the job to be the morning show. And we got to put on the show. And Tommy come in here with Junior come in here off a crisis with sickle cell. Tommy come in here with bad news. Tommy get hit with cancer. Shirley going through her life right here. Carla got a whole family over here. She got to deal with these people down at the school about her kid. She got to take her black daughter down to this school and try to make the best way for her. Everybody got crosses to bear. But we got to come in here anyway, and we got to.
What is she got to take her black daughter? What does that mean? What's wrong with Carla's daughter? And why she got to be her black daughter? Okay, Google is a real platform. You know what I'm saying? Like, Steve, what in the world are you talking about, sir? I'm sure I skipped some of y'all comments. How many grandma pictures have you seen? They have millions of pictures. Girl, we don't even know if they on, but who's having a baby? It's not Lori Harvey. We know that. Where's the baby? Okay, is she still baby watching? Exactly. They're going, you know what? If they're going out of town this week, girl, they're going straight to, Marjorie been dying to get over there to Europe. They're getting ready to have fashion shows, okay? Marjorie can't wait to get to see the latest fashions.
To be the morning show, in spite of what's happening in our life, when it ain't funny or fun or inspirational or motivational or informative at all. We just in here trying to make it. So I get it. Here's the deal. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to do a list of facts. My wife asked me not to do it because she said, Steve, all them haters going to do is flip anything you say and reverse it. Okay, cool. Well, you're doing it anyway. And you out there just lying about my girl. And you got her this, and you tearing away at her character. And I don't like what you're doing to her. I don't like the timing of this jailhouse release because it just seemed like it added more and it came from the inside. I'm tired.
But who likes being exposed, and is it ever the appropriate time? Like, it's never going to be the appropriate time. But you weren't exposed. Shirley was. You guys got exposed because they said Marjorie was out there giving up the putty cat to some people. And you made this about you and Marjorie when this was really about Shirley and Nesto. Shirley was just admiring all the amenity, all of the spa and gym equipment and all of everything that you guys have at your house in Dubai. That's all she was saying. And she threw in that she feels like the help around your wife. But whatever. What does that have to do with anything?
But she got to be tired. The woman I married is a good woman. She the best thing ever happened to me. She's God-fearing. She's loyal. She's faithful. And she's a kind and loving person. I don't care what nobody says. And y'all quit talking about she was in my other marriage and ruined it. She didn't. She was nowhere around that. My marriage, I got divorced in 2005. My marriage was over when the Kings of Comedy was out. Y'all ain't know that though, did you? It was over then. It wasn't worth a quarter then. It took us this long to get to the divorce. That's when the official paperwork came out. But in 2005, let me hip you to something. I had nothing. I lost the radio show we were on in LA on March 23rd, and I lost the only TV show I had May 10th. May 23rd, I lost the radio show, and May 10th, I lost the TV show. Steve Harvey had no money. Got with Marjorie again, New Year's Eve, met her, talked to her. She was with her kids in Hawaii. We got together in 2006. We had nothing. She didn't marry into no lap of riches. I had nothing. When I asked her to marry me at the end of 2006, and then she said she wanted to get married in 2007, I told her too soon. I got to get some stuff together. She said, what? I said, baby, I ain't really got nothing. I'm trying to build. She said, I'm going to get in there and build with you. We got married in 2007. Do you know what I was doing in 2007? Nothing. We had four stations in 2005. 4. We built this. All of us built this. We had 4 stations. We turned this into something. But that won't.
Okay, so you guys built this. Why is Shirley sitting up here like she's living hand to mouth, check to check? Why is it that you're the one, and yes, his name is the one that's on the radio show. But it seems like everybody else is doing okay. Tommy seems to be doing okay. Carla and her husband are doing okay. Junior, remember they ran into Junior, her and Nesto. He was at the Target with his wife in one of these videos on Nesto's damn Instagram. Why is Shirley living in the back of somebody's house? Where is Shirley's check? Where is Shirley's money? What is going on? Why does it seem like Shirley gets paid $25 an hour? Why are some people looking rich and Shirley looking po? She looking like the po auntie, poor broke auntie. Where's Shirley's money? Why is Steve looking rich? Marjorie out there looking fabulous. He's talking about that all the people in this room, in this picture right here. Okay, everybody looking real thick and well fed and well kept. Okay, where's Shirley check?
Woman got down in that foxhole with me and turned this into something. In 2007, we got married. In 2008, we found out that somebody had stolen 7 years of my tax returns. I ain't gonna mention no name. And we owed the government $22 million and we in debt. But then guess what? She stayed with me in that. Then guess what? In 2009, I got Family Feud. In 2009, the book came out. In 2012, the talk show came out. I'm telling you, this woman got in the hole and built this with me. She didn't steal nothing. And I'm tired of y'all talking about my girl. Because my girl is one of the best women I've ever met. And why you black ass people out there got these blogs like you just gonna destroy somebody, I don't really know.
When he said you black ass people out here, I was a little bit offended, but I was like, okay. Okay, Steve. Carla and her black daughter, which I don't know what he meant by that, but I'm sure Carla had to ask, or maybe not. And then he's talking about these black ass bloggers. What does that mean? I mean, I didn't know that Steve was on some colorism type stuff. And I don't know if it's not even colorism, if it's just like, why would you even use that as an insult? It's just weird. Like, how are you trying to insult your own race about their race? Like, that's just the oldest type of cooning that there is. What is going on here, Steve? Like, I'm just very surprised. And then y'all feature this as a feature on your Facebook page. It's just
What that's about. But don't worry about it because it ain't working. Because all we are now, we are a tighter two-handed circle. Thank you for doing that. And you're not going to split us up. And we're not going nowhere. And she is none of what you said she is. And she the best chick I know. Now I'm defending her. And you can feel
what that got to do with Shirley and her man in the clink. Can you tell me that? When did this become about? I thought this was a strawberry letter about Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte, about Shirley. This seems to be a opportunity for Shirley to be the bad guy about something that is not her fault. She never even talked about you guys' marriage.
how you want to feel about that. But that's the God in me. But now let me give you one piece of Steve Harvey. If I see your ass.
And then they cut it off. Okay. Interesting, right? I hadn't listened to that in full since it happened.
Let me say this to you, Shirley.
Wait, hold on a second. Okay. I hadn't listened to that in a minute. So, but they're putting all the Atlanta news on, but they hadn't posted up Ernesto's news. Okay. Anyway, guys, yeah, Shirley was back to doing Bible study again. I don't know if we're gonna talk about it tomorrow. If you guys, I don't know, maybe tomorrow afternoon we'll do a reaction on that video. It was a very boring call. I'm just gonna be honest. There's better calls. But if you guys want to hear some of that foolishness of the reason why I think that Ernesto pawned off his pin, yeah, because there's some random calls from random people who are just kind of like, wait a second, is this the wrong, like, did you put the wrong calls on here? But I thought about it and I was like, he probably flipped his pin or switched it with somebody else or sold his time. I don't know what he did, but I know people said that they do trade it like currency. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out because it's not him. And I'm sure he's getting phone calls. It's just a matter of figuring out whose pin he's using and request their calls because that's easy enough. I mean, it's not hard to get the calls. It's just to figure out who you're trying to get a hold of. Okay? Because he flipped it with somebody. Um but I don't know that that's the person, that cuz he could have given his pin to someone and he may not even be using that person's pin. Like they could just be mixing everything up. You know what I mean? And it's not going to get brought to the jail's attention until someone actually is like, "Hey, wait a second," because, whoever's job it is to pay whoever's job it is to monitor maybe the jail calls as far as monitoring may not necessarily be like, hey, wait a second, that doesn't sound like the guy from 5 calls ago. Maybe it's even a computer because the amount of phone calls that these people are making, the amount of people, and then on any given day the amount of people that you would have to assign, it's probably a computer scanning through trying to hear words like jailbreak and weird shit that may bubble up a file for people to pay a little bit closer attention to. I don't know, but um I can only imagine that they probably don't have the manpower to sit and listen to the massive amount of calls, But anyway, I don't know. But that was interesting. I just that was it. Um that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. Do you guys have anything else to talk about? I thought it was funny. Um, Meanwhile, Robin Quivers is rich, rich. Absolutely. Man, Robin Quivers just bought a new. Robin Quivers is rich, rich. You know what I mean? And like we talked about this before, Shirley was over there in Chicago when Oprah was popping off. I mean, she might even be, is she about the same age as Oprah? Her and Oprah about the same age. Okay. I don't know if Oprah is 70 or not yet, but Oprah's definitely well into her 60s. Gail King, like this woman has had access to the upper echelon of broadcasting. Okay. Yeah, Robin Quivers is in a whole nother league, but you know what Robin Quivers also had? Howard Stern, no matter what people say about Howard Stern has always made sure that Robin was treated like an equal. He didn't want Robin working for him. Robin has her own contract. Robin has her own deal from the very beginning. I used to listen to them when I was in high school. And it was always, almost like a joke every year when they would come up for contract negotiations. Robin always had her own deal. Howard always made sure that Robin was well taken care of. He didn't want to have anything to do with her negotiations. And Robin has always been, as far as I'm assuming, Robin has had $1 million contracts, and that is his co-host. Howard has always looked out for Robin. She was never his employee. They call Shirley a co host, but it seems like she works for Steve. And Steve is not breaking the bread like Howard Stern is breaking the bread. Now, I'm sure, like, we know that Howard is, highly, highly compensated and has made millions and millions. And so is Steve. But yeah, that's it on that. I mean, Robin Quivers is that's a whole nother that's a Wendy Williams type situation. When you see like a Wendy Williams and how Wendy broke away from what she was doing with Hot 97 and BLS and all of the radio stations and then became syndicated, and her model was to go after that Howard Stern syndicated model. and she made all of that money. And, in the process, Charlemagne was with her as an intern, and he grew and got out of there and went and did his own thing. But um Shirley seems to have unfortunately linked up with somebody who wasn't really trying to break off the bread like that. I would love to know when she's free to talk, like how little they were getting paid. Now, maybe it was a good thing she didn't make as much as she could have, because Nesto would have helped himself all to it. But as far as um fair and equitable, if you are a major contributor onto the show and he's over here talking about we built this, we all put this together, then we should have some similar paychecks. Friend's gonna get Nesto another charge. I'm gonna get him. I'm not doing that. Girl, not me. Girl, I'm just or Oprah 69. You don't think Oprah and Shirley cross paths in the Chicago broadcasting community? I know Shirley probably goes to sleep at night like, what happened to my career? But I think someone also said it in here one day. We were talking, and she just never bubbled herself up to be a headliner. Even Robin Quivers, I mean, Robin Quivers is, a very interesting, the difference between like a Howard Stern and Robin versus Steve and Shirley. Steve sits there and talks to the audience, and he's almost like a one man show, and they do operate around him and bring different features. But it's very much Howard and Robin talking. It's very much a conversation between the two of them, and they're hosting the show together. It's not really as much of a sidekick thing as much as Robin is part of the show and contributes. Um, Shirley does the strawberry letter, and she chimes in here and there, but I don't know. It's very strange. Mad respect for Howard. He shows he does. I mean, he he looked out for Robin the whole way, and that's why they've had a very long career together. And Howard wouldn't go anywhere without Robin. No, they have a very special relationship. Um, I don't know if Steve's kids call Shirley auntie, but I'm quite sure Robin is at weddings, bar mitzvahs, births. Like that's auntie. That's their rich black auntie. Uh, they work for Steve. Yeah, Robin Quivers is treated as an equal, and they work for, yeah. It's unfortunate. It's posting. Really, I didn't know that. How much longer do we have to listen to the boring Steve show? Oh, I'm sorry, sis. Laughing is annoying. Her laugh is annoying, and that what would you do? Uh, okay. Uh, yeah, I don't know I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know what's going on with that. Um, I don't know a lot of detail on that. I So apparently there was some sort of lawsuit or something. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a whole lot about it because I wasn't really like, I mean, I was covering this until, I mean, you can go back and look at my timeline. I've been posting up on this for a little minute, but I have not been dedicated um you know, on Steve and Marjorie and Shirley and all of that for years or anything like that. But when I heard about it, I found it to be interesting. So, um Okay. Well, thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ernest Williams reacts to Shirley like the help. So maybe she should have said, I feel like the help. I mean, look, when you work for someone, but you feel like the help when you feel like you deserve more, right? Like someone can't make you feel like if you work for someone, are you not? It doesn't make you like a maid and a butler, but if you work for someone, aren't you not paid help? But I guess it's more of like she feels like she deserves more. And you know what? I'm going to say she does, right? So now, isn't I heard on another channel they were saying someone else was reporting on the affairs and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be honest, like I said, I don't really know. And as far as what other people are posting, I'm just gonna stay out of that because I don't know the details and what what's what. So, me, I like to I'm in my own little bucket over here of what I do. And that's how I don't want to get into anything. Meanwhile, Shirley is at a payday. Girl, stop it, Sarah. Sarah. Sarah said she is over there at the payday loan spot. Okay. I would be interested in hearing from Shirley's baby daddy, the ex. Okay. Me too. Anybody who's got the some some information that's interesting. I mean, what does Sheridan do? Does anybody know that? What is that? Meanwhile, Shirley is the payday loan next to the check cashing. Hold on a second. He gave her permission to rent a $30 a day car. How kind. She's got to be out of her mind if she's asking him for permission on anything with the money. I wish a man would give me encouragement to buy a house with no money and a 580 credit score in one of the worst, I wouldn't say the worst economy, but it's not, but she doesn't have viable credit for good credit rating. I only want to hear about Sheridan. I would love to hear what Sheridan has to say. Absolutely. Sheridan has a business here in Atlanta. Pull up on her social media if it's still open. Let me see. It must not be doing amazing because you would think she'd be able to pay her rent and wrangle those baby daddies of hers, right? Sheridan. I wonder if it's shut down. Well, she has a business. Can someone send me a link to her business? Her business Instagram. Anyway, guys, I don't want to keep y'all too late. This was fun. Um, Obviously, of course, we'll do this more often. Um, I don't know what the rest of the week holds, but I do want to talk about the potential scamming of or what they've called out as a scam from the DJ Envy thing. We still never talked about Jenny Mai and some other hot topics. So definitely, if you're on the replay, leave down below anything that you want to get caught up on. If you guys are loving and still interested in what's going on with Mr. Steve and Shirley and Marjorie and all of the things, then of course we'll continue to talk about that. Nothing is stopping. But definitely we can be adding, of course, right? Um, if I was Sheridan, whether I made enough to pay my rent or not, I would let Shirley keep paying. Well, that is mom, right? When he said he was going to get a small apartment in Cobb County with a bed, and that's all he needs. If that lady is still married to that fool, and I mean, we know she's that it wasn't legal, but she should be getting some papers finalized quickly. Like, I would close him out before the end of the year. That way, anything that I need to do financially with his or our name on it, um, I'm assuming she never changed her name. I would have it shut down. I would have that shut down by the end of the year. I wouldn't want him on any of my books, none of my finances, nothing. Completely out of order. Well, and they told him he can't come back to Fulton County, right? Um, but he's not getting out of jail anytime soon. I mean, he's not getting out. So, he will definitely he's facing a few more things and he's already in for I guess this 23-month thing. That's what he has already, Gloria, right? He's in Cobb County in a efficiency with a one bed, right? And he gets 3 hots and a cot. Absolutely. You are so right. Yes. I would like to find out a little bit more about that. And well, we know Jennifer Williams and her boyfriend, well, excuse me, her fiance CG, he's another um ex-felon from and he's from Jersey like her, Jersey, New York, and he had a false imprisonment kidnapping situation. But Jennifer is from Basketball Wives, and she was with Tim Norman right before all that stuff went down about his nephew. So Jennifer has not been making good choices with her men, and here she is again with another felon, and they're over here with a YouTube channel, and it's quite cheesy. And I do think, he gives opportunist. I don't know that he is, but I'm just giving my opinion. Hey, Darla. Hey, boo boo. So it's giving, you know, not cool. And he wrote a book and he gave a name that his name is Chris Gold. It's Jennifer and CG. But when you look into the book and you find the book, it's a whole nother name, but that it is him. But it's a book about how he found Jesus in jail and all of those things. So interesting. But I just don't think it's gonna last. I'm gonna be quite honest. Shirley might feel like she can't do better than Lesto. Wow. Someone said Ernest no. Of course, there's Nasty Nesto. Someone said Ernie. I mean, you guys have come up with a long list of nicknames for this guy. It's so funny. Anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go. We've been at this for almost 2 hours, and this was so much fun. I love getting caught up with you guys. And I guess if you guys want to do call in, I mean, we can always definitely be calling in. Because I would love to hear from you guys. What y'all think about this. So my bad for not dropping the call in, but if ever there is a time where you want to call in, please just let me know, or any of the mods, please just remind me if somebody asks, or let me just run it up and let me know if somebody asks. Because I definitely love to hear from you guys and I enjoy this so much. But yeah, meet me over at Love Lies and Lace Fronts tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to react to the call from today. If we are, maybe just a little, I'm going to have to listen to it and find something interesting, because overall I felt like it was a little bit of a snoozer. Um, but maybe on replay it might be amusing. I don't know. So let me be fair. But it's not, of course, it's not Phone Calls from Prison's fault. They definitely do a wonderful job making working with the material that is has been presented. Absolutely, right? It's not anyone else's fault other than Ernest and damn Shirley on these boring, when it gets a little bit boring and tedious. But I found that little Bible study snippet hilarious. But we'll check and see what we want to react to and talk about it on tomorrow. Otherwise, I hope that you guys have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you guys next time, and then we'll get into it. It's more of the like the juicy gossip of it all, right? All parts were the parts about what she couldn't afford. Okay, yeah, cuz that's always a good thing to talk about is finances and being realistic with your money. Um I just can't help it. I feel like I'm just like you guys. It's a head scratcher. Where is the money? But there's some of you guys out here. Look at the comments. Some of you guys out there feel like there is a hidden stash somewhere. Like it's just all, this is all drama, and they are pretending and playing in our faces. And there's actually something that's there, and they're talking in code. And of course, she's not going to talk about the money that's hidden on the phone calls. Okay. Then how about just not talk about money? But maybe if they feel like they claim broke all the time, then that'll take the heat off. I don't know. You guys on the replay, tell me what you think. Until next time, thank you, Tommy. Piano Praiser, definitely there is money somewhere. There's gotta be. I just cannot believe that Steve would be that cheap, right? His son has it. Well, then it's gone. I'm just kidding. It's gone. All right, y'all. You guys are amazing. This was so much fun. You guys take care. Have a good evening. I'm going to let y'all go, and I will see you guys down in the comments. Okay? Take care. Have a good night.